The massive view screen on the bridge of the Horizon showed the approaching space station. Captain Adam Clark watched with careful eyes as his ship moved closer to Nexus Prime*. This was the moment humans had waited for since they first looked up at the stars. First contact with an advanced alien alliance. "All systems nominal, Captain," said Lieutenant Daniel Morris from his station. "Docking procedures ready on your command." Adam nodded and straightened his uniform. He felt the weight of 7 billion humans on his shoulders. Everything about this meeting would shape Earth's future among the stars. "Take us in, Lieutenant." "Nice and easy." The Horizon glided toward the gleaming structure. Nexus Prime* was unlike anything humans had ever built. A massive wheel-shaped station with crystalline spires and flowing sections that seemed to move like water frozen in time. Dr. Olivia Grant stood beside the captain, her eyes wide with wonder. As the ship's xenobiologist, she had studied alien life for years, but only from Earth's limited data. Now she would meet actual sentient aliens. "It's beautiful," she whispered. "Let's hope they're friendly," Security Chief Frank Rivera said, his hand resting near his sidearm. His job was to keep the human delegation safe, and he took it seriously. The ship docked with a gentle shudder. Communications specialist Kate Wilson looked up from her console. "Captain, we're receiving a welcome message. They're inviting us aboard." Adam took a deep breath. "All right. First contact team with me. Let's make a good impression for Earth." The delegation crossed through the airlock. Adam led the way, followed by Dr. Grant, Chief Rivera, Lieutenant Morris, and Specialist Wilson. The air inside the station smelled clean but strange, with hints of something like cinnamon and metal. They entered a large chamber with a high ceiling. 7 different alien species waited in a semicircle. Each looked nothing like the others. Some had too many limbs. Others seemed made of light or crystal. A tall, blue-skinned alien with 4 arms stepped forward. "I am Zorax of the Arcturian Alliance. We welcome you to Nexus Prime, humans of Earth." Adam stepped forward and bowed slightly. "Captain Adam Clark of Earth's vessel Horizon *. We come in peace and friendship." Dr. Grant watched the aliens carefully. Something seemed off. Despite their formal greeting, the aliens stayed unusually far away from the humans. When Adam moved forward to shake hands, several aliens stepped back quickly. "Please forgive our caution," Zorax said. "We are still adjusting to your presence." The humans were shown to their quarters and given time to rest before a formal reception. In their private meeting room, Dr. Grant shared her observations. "They're afraid of us," she said. "Did you notice how they flinch when we move?" Frank nodded. "I saw it too. But why? Their technology is clearly more advanced than ours. One of their ships could probably destroy the Horizon in seconds." "Maybe they know something about humans that we don't," Kate suggested. The formal reception that evening was held in a grand hall. The ceiling looked like the night sky, with stars and nebulas swirling overhead. Food and drinks from various worlds were served. The humans tried to mingle with the aliens, but the strange distance remained. Adam was speaking with Zorax when Lieutenant Morris noticed a glass falling from a nearby table. Without thinking, he reached out and caught it before it hit the floor, a simple reflex. The room went completely silent. Every alien was staring at Morris. "Is something wrong?" Morris asked, holding the glass. A crystalline being that Dr. Grant had learned was called a Lumidian flickered with pulses of light. "How did you calculate the trajectory and velocity so quickly?" it asked. Morris looked confused. "I didn't. I just caught it." The aliens exchanged looks that even humans could tell were filled with concern. Zorax stepped forward. "Captain Clark, we must speak privately with your leadership," he said, his voice formal, but with an edge that hadn't been there before. "There are concerning behavioral anomalies we've observed in humans that must be discussed." Adam looked at his team, confusion clear on his face. What could have possibly frightened these advanced aliens? They had traveled across the stars, built incredible technology, and yet something about humans clearly terrified them. And it wasn't their weapons. Captain Adam Clark and his team followed Zorax through the curved hallways of Nexus Prime. The alien leader moved with careful steps, occasionally glancing back at the humans as if to make sure they weren't doing anything unexpected. They entered a round chamber with a large table in the center. Representatives from each of the 7 Alliance species sat waiting. Adam noticed how they had arranged the seating to keep maximum distance from the human chairs. "Please be seated," Zorax said, gesturing to the empty spots. Dr. Olivia Grant sat next to Adam, while Frank Rivera, Daniel Morris, and Kate Wilson took the remaining seats. The room was quiet enough to hear the soft hum of the station's systems. "We appreciate your openness to this discussion," Zorax began. "What we must share may be difficult to understand." A small, insect-like alien with compound eyes stepped forward. "I am Krizek of the Vexari. We have been observing your species since your first radio signals reached our listening posts." "You've been watching us?" Frank asked, his security training making him instantly alert. "Only from a distance," Zorax assured them. "We needed to understand if humans would be compatible with galactic society." "And what did you find?" Adam asked. The aliens looked at each other, seemingly unsure how to continue. Finally, a glowing crystalline being rose slightly from her seat. Light pulsed through her transparent body as she spoke. "I am Ilara of the Lumidians. To be direct, Captain Clark, it is not your weapons that concern us. Your nuclear devices, your antimatter drives. These are primitive but expected developments." "Then what concerns you?" Olivia asked. "Your instincts," Ilara said simply. Daniel Morris looked confused. "Our what?" Zorax touched a control on the table. A hologram appeared in the center, showing footage of humans in various situations. A mother pulling her child from the path of a falling object. A man swerving his car to avoid a collision. Athletes coordinating complex movements during sports games. "These behaviors," Zorax explained. "How do you perform them without processing time?" The humans looked at each other in confusion. Olivia was the first to understand. "You mean reflexes? Instinctive reactions?" "Yes," Krizek clicked, his mandibles twitching with what seemed like nervousness. "Your species makes decisions faster than should be neurologically possible. You catch falling objects. You coordinate without communication. You recognize threats before they fully manifest." Kate Wilson shook her head. "That's just being human. We don't think about those things." "Exactly," Ilara pulsed brightly. "You don't think, yet you act. Do you understand how terrifying that is?" Another alien, this one with flowing tentacles, added, "Our species evolved along different paths. We process information deliberately. Each action is calculated. Each response measured." Zorax nodded. "What Lieutenant Morris did, catching that glass without calculation. Our most advanced AI systems would require several seconds to compute trajectory, velocity, and required muscle response. Yet you did it without conscious thought." Olivia leaned forward, her scientific curiosity engaged. "Are you saying none of your species have reflexes or instincts?" "Not like yours," Ilara said. "We have automatic responses, but they are simple. Retreat from danger. Move toward food. Your instincts are complex problem-solving systems that operate below conscious level." Adam tried to process what they were saying. "So you're afraid of us because we have good reflexes?" "It goes beyond reflexes," Krizek clicked. "Let me demonstrate." He activated another hologram showing a jumble of random shapes and colors. "What do you see?" The humans glanced at it briefly. "A face," they all said almost simultaneously. The aliens recoiled slightly. "There is no face," Krizek said. "We designed this pattern specifically to contain no recognizable objects. Yet all of you instantly saw one." "Pattern ghost recognition," Ilara explained. "Your brains find meaning in random noise. You see shapes in clouds, faces in random objects, and threats in shadows. Combined with your physical reflexes, Zorax continued, it makes your species uniquely unpredictable and potentially dangerous. Frank Rivera crossed his arms. With all due respect, it sounds like you're looking for reasons to fear us. We fear what we don't understand, Zorax admitted, and your cognitive processes are unlike anything in our experience. Adam looked at the worried faces of the alien council. They truly were afraid, not of Earth's weapons or technology, but of something humans took completely for granted, their instincts. So what happens now? Adam asked quietly. That, Zorax said, is what we need to determine. Back on the horizon, the human delegation gathered in the ship's conference room. The mood was tense as they discussed what they had learned. Captain Adam Clark stood by the viewport, looking out at the massive alien station. So the most advanced alliance in our part of the galaxy is afraid of us because we can catch falling objects. Frank Rivera said with a short laugh. That seems hard to believe. It's more than that, Dr. Olivia Grant said. She pulled up notes on her tablet. They evolved differently. Their brains work step by step, like computers. Our brains take shortcuts. Commander Samantha Wright, the ship's second in command who had stayed aboard during the meeting, leaned forward. This could be good for us. If they're scared of us, they might offer better trade deals. Or they might decide we're too dangerous to allow into their alliance. Adam countered. I don't like the way that insect representative was looking at us. Olivia nodded. Krizek. He seemed particularly concerned. On the other side of the station, the alliance representatives were having their own meeting. Holographic displays showed humans in various situations, playing sports, responding to emergencies, fighting in historical battles. Look at this, Krizek said, pointing to footage of a human basketball game. They predict each other's movements without communication. It would take our best military units weeks of training to achieve this level of coordination. Ilara's crystalline form pulsed with troubled light patterns. Their threat detection abilities are even more concerning. They sense danger before it becomes apparent. Zorax considered the evidence. We must determine if humans can be safely integrated into the galactic community. Their cognitive abilities might be valuable, but also pose risks. I propose a containment strategy. Krizek clicked sharply. Limit their expansion until we better understand their capabilities. Meanwhile, aboard the horizon, engineer Laura Palmer was in her quarters when she noticed something odd. A small shimmer in the corner of the room caught her eye. Without thinking, she reached out and grabbed it. A tiny drone, barely larger than an insect, struggled in her fingers. Daniel, come look at this, she called to Lieutenant Morris, who was in the adjoining room. Daniel examined the small device. It's some kind of spy drone. But how did you see it? It's almost invisible. Laura shrugged. I don't know. Something just seemed off about that corner of the room. I felt like something was watching me. They searched their quarters and found 3 more drones, each perfectly camouflaged. Daniel easily disabled them, working on instinct rather than following a specific procedure. They're studying us, Laura said, like we're lab animals. Back in the Alliance Council chamber, an aide rushed in and whispered to Krizek. The insectoid alien's compound eyes flashed with alarm. Impossible, he clicked. The humans have discovered and disabled our observation drones. They should have been undetectable to their visual range. How? Zorax demanded. They claim they felt something watching them, the aide reported. And the male human disabled the technology without proper tools or scanning equipment. The council chamber erupted in concerned clicks, hums, and light pulses as the various species communicated their alarm. This confirms my concerns, Krizek said. They possess senses beyond normal perception. Perhaps some form of telepathy or quantum neural capabilities we don't understand. Ilara's lights pulsed rapidly. We need more information before making judgments. I propose a direct test of their capabilities. What kind of test? Zorax asked. A simulation, Ilara suggested. We invite them to participate in virtual scenarios that will reveal the extent of their intuitive abilities. Zorax considered this. Very well. We will invite Captain Clark and his team to participate in simulation exercises, but prepare containment protocols as a precaution. As the alien council made their plans, Adam Clark stared at the disabled spy drones on his desk. This diplomatic mission was quickly becoming complicated. The humans had come seeking peaceful contact with advanced civilizations. Instead, they found themselves viewed as potential threats. Captain, Kate Wilson called through the comm. The Alliance is requesting another meeting. They're proposing some kind of joint exercise. Adam sighed. Tell them we'll be there. And tell everyone to stay alert. I don't think our new friends trust us very much. Little did he know that across the station, the Alliance was preparing to test just how dangerous human instincts really were. The simulation chamber was a large, empty room with smooth white walls. Captain Adam Clark and his team stood in the center, wearing lightweight sensor suits the aliens had provided. Across from them, several Alliance representatives watched from behind a clear barrier. The chamber will create virtual scenarios, Zorax explained. The sensations will feel real, but you cannot be harmed. We wish to observe your problem-solving methods. Adam nodded. We're ready. What's the first test? A simple emergency scenario, Ilara said. Her crystalline form sparkled as she operated the controls. Beginning now. The white room vanished. Suddenly, the humans stood on the bridge of a space station. Red warning lights flashed. Alarms blared. A computerized voice announced, critical system failure, life support compromised. Evacuation recommended. Without hesitation, the human team moved. They hadn't planned their response, but each person instinctively took on a role. Frank checked the security systems. Kate accessed communications. Olivia and Daniel examined the life support readouts. Laura headed for the engineering section. Adam coordinated their efforts. The primary coolant system is overheating. Laura called out after a quick glance at the engineering panel. We need to reroute through the secondary systems. Comms are down, Kate reported. We can't call for help. Adam made quick decisions. Laura, fix the coolant system. Frank, secure an evacuation route. Olivia, check for casualties. Daniel, help Laura. Kate, see if you can get emergency comms online. The team worked smoothly, communicating with short phrases and sometimes just gestures. Within minutes, Laura and Daniel had rerouted the coolant system. The alarms stopped. The emergency was contained. The simulation faded. The white room returned. The humans looked at each other, unsure what had happened. Did we pass? Adam asked. Behind the barrier, the aliens stared in silence. Finally, Zorax spoke. You completed the scenario in 1/3 of the expected time. How did you coordinate your actions without a planning phase? Adam looked confused. We just did what needed to be done. Next scenario. Krizek clicked impatiently. The room changed again. Now the humans stood in a forest clearing. In front of them was a strange alien creature unlike any of the Alliance species they had met. It made soft cooing sounds and held out what appeared to be a gift, a small glowing orb. Frank Rivera immediately stepped in front of the captain. Everyone back up. Something's wrong. Why? Olivia asked. It seems friendly. Look at its eyes, Frank said. The way it's standing. It's too tense. This is a predator stance disguised as friendly behavior. As if triggered by Frank's words, the creature suddenly lunged forward, the orb transforming into a weapon. Frank had already pushed Adam aside. The attack missed. The simulation froze. The room returned to white. How did you detect hostile intent? Krizek demanded. The simulation was designed to be unreadable. Frank shrugged. I've been in security for 15 years. You develop a sense for these things. A sense, Ilara repeated, her lights pulsing rapidly. Not analysis, a feeling. Final scenario. Zorax announced. This time, the humans found themselves in a small spacecraft hurtling toward an asteroid field. Warning lights flashed. The ship's computer announced, autopilot failure. Manual controls engaged. Laura Palmer jumped into the pilot's seat without hesitation. Her hands moved across the controls, guiding the ship through the spinning rocks. She didn't calculate trajectories. She didn't measure distances. She simply flew, adjusting moment by moment, feeling the ship's movements. Just like riding a bike, she muttered as she wove between two massive asteroids, with barely any clearance. The ship emerged from the asteroid field unscathed. The simulation ended. This time, the aliens were completely silent. Ilara approached the barrier, her crystalline form pulsing with rapid patterns of light. "Engineer Palmer," she said quietly, "how did you navigate that field without running calculations?" Laura looked confused. "I didn't need to calculate anything. I could see where I needed to go, so I went there." "See where?" Ilara's voice trailed off. She turned to Zorax. "We need to discuss this privately." As the aliens filed out of the observation area, Olivia leaned toward Adam. "I think we scared them even more." Adam nodded. "And I have a feeling that was exactly what they wanted to find out." Captain Adam Clark and his team returned to their quarters after the simulations. They were tired but confused by the aliens' reactions to their performance. "I still don't understand what they're so worried about," Laura Palmer said as she sat down. "Anyone could have flown through those asteroids." "Not anyone," Olivia Grant replied. "Not them. At least, they don't think like we do." Before they could discuss further, the door to their quarters slid open. A group of Vexari security officers entered, led by Krizek. Their insect-like forms moved with precise, calculated steps. "Captain Clark," Krizek clicked. "By order of the Alliance Security Council, your team is to remain in these quarters until further notice." Adam stood up quickly. "On what grounds?" "We're diplomatic guests." "The Council is debating your status," Krizek replied. "Your species presents unique security concerns that must be addressed before you can return to Earth." Frank Rivera stepped forward. "You're detaining us." "That's an act of war." "Not detaining," Krizek corrected. "Protecting. Both you and us. Please understand this is temporary." The security team left, but the humans heard the door lock behind them. They were prisoners. "They're afraid we'll tell Earth about their fear of us," Kate Wilson said. "They think we'll use it against them." Daniel Morris checked the door panel. Locked tight. "The system is different from anything I've seen before." Adam looked around at his team. Options. In another part of the station, Zorax and Ilara were arguing with Krizek in the council chamber. "This action is extreme," Zorax said. "The humans have shown no hostile intent. Intent is irrelevant." Krizek clicked angrily. "Their capabilities are the concern. You saw the simulations. They react faster than our battle computers. They sense threats we cannot detect. They coordinate without communication. So we imprison them." Ilara's crystalline form pulsed with agitation. "That will only confirm any suspicions they have about our intentions." "We must study them further," Krizek insisted. "Consider what would happen if humans learned how their instincts compare to ours. They would have an advantage in every negotiation, every conflict." "I have been studying Earth's data archives," Ilara said. "Their instincts developed in a highly competitive ecosystem. Their planet has thousands of predator species. They evolved as both predator and prey. Unlike any of our worlds," Zorax noted, "our species all evolved in stable environments with few threats." "Exactly," Ilara continued. "Their brains were shaped by constant survival pressure. Our brains were shaped by stability and specialization." Back in their quarters, the humans were developing a plan. They kept their voices low and used hand gestures to communicate key points, aware that they were likely under surveillance. "They'll be watching everything we say and do," Frank whispered. Adam nodded and discreetly pointed to his eyes. then to the ceiling corners where cameras might be hidden. Without speaking, Laura Palmer began flipping through a magazine that had been left in the room. She casually tore out pages and handed them to each team member. The others understood immediately. They could write messages that might not be monitored. Olivia wrote something and passed her paper to Adam. Their species evolved without predators. They don't understand instinctive reactions because they never needed them. Adam nodded and wrote back, "We need to show them our instincts aren't a threat." As they silently developed their plan, Kate Wilson pretended to look out the viewport while actually studying the reflection of the door mechanism. Daniel Morris stretched, casually placing his hand near the environmental controls, feeling for access panels. Frank made a small hand signal to Adam. 3 fingers, then a closed fist. It was a security team's signal meaning, "I've found a way out." Across the station, in the monitoring room, a Vexari technician watched the humans with growing concern. "They appear to be communicating, but I cannot determine how," he reported to Krizek. "They speak of trivial matters while exchanging looks and small gestures." Krizek's compound eyes reflected the monitor screens. "Increased surveillance. I want to know what they're planning." Planning. Zorax had just entered the room. "They're locked in their quarters. What could they possibly do?" Krizek turned to him. "You still don't understand what we're dealing with. These humans don't think like us. They don't need to calculate odds or analyze systems. They feel their way through problems. And that terrifies you," Zorax observed. "It should terrify all of us," Krizek replied. The lights in the human quarters dimmed briefly. It was the signal they had been waiting for. 3 hours of careful planning, all communicated through subtle gestures, whispers, and written notes, had led to this moment. "Now," Adam whispered. Laura Palmer moved to the environmental control panel, where she had earlier discovered a loose section. Her fingers worked quickly, connecting wires that Daniel had identified through touch alone. The door lock clicked open. "We have maybe 2 minutes before they notice," Frank said quietly. Adam nodded. "Remember, this isn't about escaping. It's about making a point." The team moved into the hallway, moving as one unit without the need for verbal commands. Frank took the lead, Kate watched their backs, and Laura stayed close to Olivia, ready to protect the scientist if needed. They navigated the curved corridors of the station, avoiding patrols through what seemed like shared intuition. When a group of Vexari guards approached from around a corner, the humans ducked into a side passage before the aliens even appeared. Frank had heard the slight clicking of their movements, seconds before they became visible. "How did you know they were coming?" Daniel whispered. Frank shrugged. "Just felt it." In the monitoring room, alarms suddenly blazed. The Vexari technician jumped up. "The humans have escaped their quarters." Krizek rushed to the screens. "How?" The lock was designed with redundant systems. "Unknown. They appear to have bypassed the security without proper tools or access codes." "Where are they now?" Krizek demanded. The technician checked the station sensors. "They appear to be heading toward the council chamber." "Seal all doors. Deploy security teams," Krizek ordered. Zorax, who had remained in the monitoring room, watched with growing concern. "This is exactly what I feared would happen. Your actions have provoked them. They couldn't have escaped unless they were planning it all along," Krizek insisted. On another level, Ilara was studying Earth's historical archives when she received the alert about the humans. Instead of joining the security response, she continued her research with greater urgency. The data revealed patterns she hadn't noticed before. Meanwhile, the human team moved through the station with surprising ease. When doors sealed ahead of them, Laura found alternative routes through maintenance corridors. When guards approached, the team hid or changed direction before encountering them. "It's like they know our station better than we do," one guard reported in frustration. They reached the council chamber doors just as Krizek arrived with the security team from the opposite direction. "Stop right there," the Vexari commander ordered, weapons ready. Adam raised his hand slowly. "We're not here to fight. We want to talk." You broke out of secure quarters. Krizek clicked angrily. You evaded security throughout the station. This only proves my concerns about your species. It proves we can work together instinctively. Adam replied calmly. But notice what we didn't do. We didn't try to reach our ship. We didn't take hostages. We didn't steal weapons. We came to talk. Zorax arrived, slightly out of breath. What is happening here? A demonstration. Adam explained. We wanted to show you something important about humans. Yes, we have strong instincts. Yes, we can coordinate without planning. But those same instincts are guided by ethical principles. Ilara rushed in, her crystalline form glowing brightly. He's right. I've been analyzing their historical data. Human societies have developed complex ethical systems precisely because their instinctive abilities needed guidance. Krizek wasn't convinced. This changes nothing. They remain unpredictable and dangerous. All species are dangerous in their own way, Zorax noted. The question is whether they can control their nature. We're asking for a fair hearing, Adam said, not as potential threats, but as potential allies. Our differences don't have to divide us. They could make us stronger together. Zorax considered this. The full Alliance Council should hear this argument. Agreed, said a new voice. An elder Lumidian entered the chamber, her crystalline form glowing with deep ancient light. I am Serena, High Counselor of the Alliance. Captain Clark, are you willing to submit your case to a formal hearing? Adam looked at his team, then back to the counselor. We are. Then it shall be so, Serena declared. The trial of humanity will begin tomorrow. As the humans were escorted to new, less restrictive quarters, Olivia whispered to Adam, a trial. Is that good or bad? It's a chance, Adam replied. And sometimes, that's all you need. The great chamber of the Alliance Council was filled with representatives from all 7 species. Captain Adam Clark stood in the center with Dr. Olivia Grant beside him. The rest of the human team sat nearby. High Counselor Serena presided from an elevated platform, her crystalline form glowing with calm, steady light. This trial will determine the status of humanity within the galactic community, Serena announced. The question before us is whether humans represent a threat due to their unique cognitive abilities. Krizek stepped forward. The evidence is clear. Humans possess reflexes and instincts that operate below conscious level. They can react without thinking, coordinate without planning, and perceive threats without analysis. They are unpredictable by their very nature. Murmurs spread through the chamber. Some representatives nodded in agreement. Adam looked at Olivia, who squeezed his arm gently. It was time for her to speak. Respected Council, Olivia began. I am a scientist who studies life forms. What Krizek says is partly true. Humans do have strong instincts. But these instincts didn't develop in isolation. They evolved alongside our reason and our compassion. She activated a small device that displayed images of Earth. Our planet is beautiful but dangerous. We evolved facing predators, natural disasters, and competition for resources. Our instincts helped us survive, but we also developed something else: culture, art, music, and ethical systems that guide those instincts. Kate Wilson stepped forward. May I demonstrate? At Serena's nod, Kate began to sing. Her voice filled the chamber with a simple, beautiful melody. Several alien representatives leaned forward, clearly affected by the sound. Music exists on many worlds, Kate explained when she finished. But human music comes from the interplay between instinct and thought. We feel rhythm instinctively, but we shape it consciously. Frank Rivera spoke next. As a security officer, I've been trained to notice threats. But I've also been trained when not to act on those instincts. Discipline and ethics guide our reactions. Krizek wasn't convinced. Pretty words, but your escape yesterday proves my point. You coordinated without speaking, evaded security without prior knowledge of our systems, and moved as a single unit without a command structure. Yet we sought dialogue, not conflict. Adam countered. If we truly couldn't control our instincts, wouldn't we have fought our way to our ship? Before Krizek could respond, a loud alarm blared through the chamber. Red emergency lights flashed. Station alert. An automated voice announced. Containment failure in reactor section. Catastrophic breach imminent. Evacuation protocols initiated. Panic erupted among the council members. Some froze in place, their deliberate minds struggling to process the unexpected crisis. Others began complex calculations about escape routes and survival odds. The humans reacted differently. Without discussion, they moved into action. Laura and Daniel rushed toward the engineering controls on the chamber wall. Frank began organizing evacuation routes. Kate helped calm the panicking aliens. Olivia accessed the station schematics on a nearby terminal. Adam coordinated their efforts with quick hand signals and short commands. The coolant system is failing. Laura called after examining the controls. We need to reroute power from non-essential systems. The nearest backup controls are 2 levels down, Olivia reported. Adam made a quick decision. Laura, Daniel, go. The rest of us will help with evacuation. As the human team worked, Laura approached Serena. Are you seeing this? They're not calculating odds or waiting for instructions. They're just helping. Yes, Serena replied, her lights pulsing thoughtfully. Their instincts drive them to protect others, not just themselves. Laura and Daniel returned 15 minutes later, slightly breathless but smiling. Coolant systems restored, Laura reported. The crisis is contained. As the emergency lights stopped flashing, the council chamber fell silent. Every alien representative stared at the humans with new understanding. Serena moved to the center of the chamber. I believe we have witnessed the answer to our question. Human instincts can indeed be powerful and unpredictable, but they can also be channeled toward protection and cooperation. She turned to face Adam. Captain Clark, the Alliance Council hereby extends formal recognition to humanity as a potential member species. We propose a new cooperative agreement that recognizes our different cognitive strengths. Krizek stepped forward. To everyone's surprise, he extended a limb toward Adam in a gesture of respect. Your instincts saved many lives today. Perhaps there is much our species can learn from each other. Adam shook the offered limb carefully. That's all we ever wanted, to learn and grow together. 2 weeks later, the Horizon prepared to return to Earth. Adam stood with Zorax in the docking bay, finalizing the details of the new Human Alliance agreement. Your visit has changed us, Zorax admitted. We now see that different types of intelligence can complement each other. Adam smiled. And we've learned to appreciate our instincts in a new way. Sometimes you don't understand your own strengths until you see them through someone else's eyes.